Hey everybody, we got Dan Schawbel on the line today, and he's the personal branding expert, and he blogs at the blog personalbrandingblog.com. And Dan, you're always talking about everyone how to build your personal brand. How should you not build your personal brand?
Well, the thing is that a lot of people aren't really taking the right steps to build their brand. They typically skip steps. So in the book I published, Me 2.0, I talk about the four-step personal branding process: discover, create, communicate, and maintain. And it's very easy for people to skip right into create and then to communicate because they don't know what they want to do. They just know that they have to get involved online and to have a presence and to be somewhat active, but because they don't know who they are truly and what they want to do and how they want to brand themselves, it's all a waste because you go in so many different directions that you don't become known for something. And the key is you want to become known as the go-to person for something. So
So, as
if
you,
I, so if I think of personal branding, hopefully I'm going to think of my name. And that's the logic. If I think of marketing experts, I'll probably think of Seth Godin first.
you're saying you need to find something to master. Is that kind of the message you're saying?
Exactly. You can't be everything to everyone. If you take a niche that is saturated, and you concentrate on it, and you distribute a lot of content, you establish an expertise by learning as much as you can about it, and then you start marketing it. You start maybe speaking. You start writing for blogs. You write your own blog. You do videos. You interview. You do everything. Then you can really become known and become very successful. But if you are spreading yourself everywhere, if you're trying to be this party planner and this marketer and a financial expert, people are just going to get confused. It'll send so many different messages that you won't be known that you won't really.
So if I look at you, Dan, if I said Dan Schwabel, and I read a lot about you, and you do a lot of great stuff, but you do a lot of things. So how do you decide who you are? Like you do consult, you're the personal branding expert, you write a book, you're working on marketing. I mean, do you feel like what your message you're saying right now is kind of not how you're doing it, or do you feel like you've just mastered many different things?
Everything is under personal branding.
All
So the
right.
book is about personal branding. The magazine, Personal Branding Magazine, is about personal branding. My live events around personal branding. You know, the articles I write, my column in Business Week is called personal branding. Like everything is personal branding.
I got you. All right. That
So
cool.
everything, so everything markets everything else. So if I'm writing an article for CBS, it's going to have a link to my blog and position me as the personal branding expert. And then, if I go on TV, it's going to say Dan Schawbel, maybe author of Me 2.0, and people buy the book, and then they see in the book that I write a blog, and then they go to the blog, and they see I also do a magazine. Everything just markets to everything else,
I
and it's
got you.
all personal branding. So it's not like my magazine is called Sports Marketing Magazine, and it's not like the blog is finance, personal finance for dummies.com.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, I get you. Everything feeds off each other. You can do many
Correct.
different things, but they're all promoting one big idea.
Correct.
And so my
Absolutely.
question is, I think a lot of people will find useful is that you said, finding who you truly are and finding what you love to do and finding, what that niche is. But I find that it's really hard nowadays when you can see everything to know what my dream job is. Like I feel like there's 100 million jobs that I think I would like to do. And so how do me as someone saying that, maybe it's more about finding what you don't like to do, and then you can niche out one, and then do you work to be the master of it and then move on, or do you work and then build from there? And I think a lot of people are finding that right now, like they hate their job, or they're looking for the dream job. But for me, it's like I'd like to do a lot of different jobs. So how do I filter those and channel to one thing?
I think what you just said is brilliant. And what I did when I was in college, and even a little bit before college, was I had eight different internships. So I was exposed to large and small companies in every single area of marketing you could think of, from sales to direct marketing to PR. And so I really narrowed down what I wanted to do when I graduated. And then I started to work really hard in product marketing for about 8 months to a year. And then I got exposed to social media, and then I came across Tom Peters' Brain Called You article. So it was a natural progression of I started off with I want to be in marketing, and then I wanted to be in product marketing after being exposed to all the internships. And then when I was on the job, I was reading about personal branding and social media and everything. And then that made a lot of sense to me, and then I just went after it. So it was a natural progression.
For me, personal story is a year ago, I thought it'd be a great idea because I do a wedding singing all over. I do corporate events. I do a half live, half DJ show. Well, I also do a web development company, and I also do marketing on my work. And I thought, hey, let's put this all together in a big package and show everyone. And then you find out that all these different niches, I went backwards. So exactly what you're saying, it kind of like I do more than just one thing, just because I'm nutty and do all this crazy stuff. But exactly what you're saying is that I have to, my music site, and there's a little audience for that. And like if you don't carve that out, I totally agree with you that, people will be like, what is he doing? And then everyone has different, needs different things from you. So people don't want to land on a music site when they're looking for a website. Right, and so exactly what you're saying.
You're getting to something even bigger too, and this is what I believe in. Start with the niche, gain visibility, and then spread your wings.
Yeah, and like
so, when all said and done, when I'm 50, I want to be the #1 branding expert in the world. That's what I aspire to be.
Yeah.
Branded myself as a branding expert. Now I'm one of so many people that I would have no shot. But I believe that branding is going to the individual, so it gives me a huge play in order to break in to branding without an MBA degree. And so at some point, I'm going to just be not personal branding expert. I'll probably be branding expert, but it'll be probably the top branding expert in the world at some point.
I mean,
I can't do that now. It's impossible for me to do that now.
And when every person has a voice, then personal gets out of that, and it's just branding, exactly like you're saying. And what I believe, social media, all this thing, the power of reconnection, all it matters is you're building a following now. I don't care if Mr. Dan Schawbel wants to come out with a shampoo next year. Like, it doesn't matter, right? You're building a following of people, and you knock it out in one of them, and people respect what you do. I think that no matter what you do going forward, you've already built your community, and that's like the power of what reconnection is, what I call it, and like social media is doing. But I totally agree with you, and you have to focus, and you have to pick a niche, because people don't want everything. They want to know, tell them what they want to know.
Because there's so many other places where you can get that information now. There's 200 million blogs. If I want that information, I can go to Huffington Post or TechCrunch or ReadWriteWeb or Mashable. Why should I go to your blog? Why should I pay attention to what you have to say? Because I can't get it anywhere else, or because you offer a product that's better than everyone else.
Exactly. And I think it's so funny every day when you just said that. It's like, I'll ask someone, you've never heard of this? You've never heard of GIST? This tool is amazing. GIST, GIST, personal branding. I don't know if you use it. You should go use it. It's a brilliant tool and can help you find a lot of people. But like every time I talk to someone, they're like, "No, I've never heard of that." And you realize, holy shit, there's 2 million freaking blogs. There's how many millions of websites? I mean, people are completely distracted. But you better build a personal relationship beyond that Twitter account, beyond that blog. Ways to make people feel engaged, and I think empowering others to do things is kind of the secret to it. And you're doing a well job of it. Reaching out and responding when people talk about you online and people say things about you and all this stuff. You do a well job of it. I want to say, keep up the good work. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know you're crazy. He's got Me 2.0 book. He writes the personal branding blog. You just launched the student branding blog, correct?
Yeah, just about 2.5 months ago, and I leveraged the reputation that I built on personal branding blog like you just talked about in order to start the second one.
That's awesome, man. And hey, thank you again. Everyone, reach out to either of us. I'm at Shane Mack Says. You're at?
Dan Schawbel.
I figured it was your full name. I thought it was. Hey, thank you, man. Thanks again.